I jumped forward just a tiny bit because that little starting parts for this scene's always the same. But, Alice, take me away. Take me away to your route, finally. And then maybe we'll get some answers. That's really what I want. Because this game's been all about no answers and more intrigue. We couldn't lose or give up just because the situation seemed zero-sum. We couldn't remain dancing forever in the palm of the hand of someone we didn't know. And even though she was awkward, there was Alice, who lent a hand whenever I needed it. I wasn't alone. I could fight as much as I needed to. Damn, what is... So I look up the blue sky. Oh, there it is! I suddenly saw the blue sky. A white room. See? The tea party room with sweets that I saw in the dream? Where was I? Why was there blue sky everywhere? Did I fall from here? Was that why I was flying? In that case, why are you here, Alice? Give me that answer. Give me all the answers. And just like that, the moment I blinked, the scenery was gone. I felt dizzy for a moment. Was that why I saw that room? Now I couldn't even clearly remember what I had seen. It was like forgetting a dream when you wake up. Something about it caught my attention, but I couldn't remember any of the details. What had I seen just now? That damn clear blue sky? I had come close to realizing something. There was only blue. No, there was a white room. And with that sneeze, everything was gone. Huh? Hold on a minute. Wasn't I just thinking of something important? And yet, blue. See, this part's always the same. I can no longer remember anything but that color. Even though I had seen it somewhere, it disappeared like a dream. Why didn't I have her drop me off with the car? Every time I stared in the direction that Takahara-san had driven off in. God, we know that wasn't that Takahara-san, but at the same time, it's still weird that we did it with a being that took on the form of Takahara-san. So when you look at Takahara-san, you're just like, oh, lordy lord. You already know. She had offered to take me home, but I wanted to be alone for a while, so she dropped me off in the front of the station. I didn't think it would be this cold. Felt like it might snow. Maybe I was gonna catch cold. So cold. Let's go home. Got the feeling I had been thinking about something, but I couldn't remember what, so it couldn't be too important. I feel like it's the most important thing ever. I was going to go home, go to bed, and then I would talk to everyone in the dream room and think about what we should do next. What would happen in this dream once the new semester started? Even if nothing happened with the dream, what would happen with my relationship with Saki, and Club Perez, and Hirasaka, and Alice, who couldn't even remember who she was? And there she is. We got some ... Just then, I got the feeling that someone was trying to get my attention. Alice? Hey, this time it actually is Alice. I thought it was her, but... Because every time... What is wrong with you? Every time we said Alice, like it wasn't her. Turning around at the sudden voice, I saw Alice standing there. Apparently, she had run here because she was letting out little white puffs with her breath. What's up? Why had Alice come here when she had gone with Saki and the others in Takahara-san's car? I feel like I'm troubled about a great many things, to be honest. With the... She must have run quite a ways because she was a little out of breath as she sullenly put her hands on her hips. I wasn't trying to evade you. Or maybe I was trying to evade her even now. Of course I would be concerned if you were next to me naked after I return to normal. I love the I could see your boobs.
なんでそういうこと言うかな。
Then would it have been better if I said nothing, pretending to be serious and just stared at you?
だからそうじゃないでしょ。
Either way. Well, it didn't seem like the time for jokes because Alice got seriously annoyed and grabbed my hand. No! I wasn't trying to evade you or do everything myself or anything like that.
じゃあどういうつもり？
I tried to remember. Alice squeezed my hand. She was probably angry, but she wasn't squeezing that hard, so it didn't hurt at all. Like I said, it was awkward being next to you. Ever since Christmas, Alice had been with me a lot. And when I spent time with her, I found that she was always defenseless and yet got embarrassed. I'd had many dreams during that time, so even if I didn't attack her, I wasn't sure what I would do.
なんかすごい味のある顔で悩んでるけど、気まずいって。ごめん。
Question mark. You don't have to apologize. And when you said you were coming after me, did Saki say anything?
さきちゃんも心配してたみたいだから何も。ちょっと笑い方が引きつってたけど。
Yeah, that sounds about right. That was probably also because of what happened at Christmas, but I'd kept that a secret from Alice, so maybe there was no point in saying it. I see.
それで、私のそばが気まずいってどういうことだ？
Do I have to say it out loud?
だってなんかトールに嫌われるようなことした覚えないし。
Was she serious? I stared her in the face.
何かな？
Looking at her face, I suddenly realized something. That person may have always appeared wearing someone else's form. But when I looked at Alice, I felt like I was on the verge of remembering something. Come on, you son of a bitch! Nothing. Damn it.
そんなじっと見られると照れるんだけど。
I want everything to just fucking open up. Like he just, whoosh, it just all floods back into his memory. Yeah? Oh, I wasn't looking at you with that in mind. You know, oh, hey.
じゃあどういうつもりだったの？
I don't know. Alice suddenly gave me a serious look. But what good would it do to talk to Alice about that person? I feel I could do something, help. I couldn't. Damn it. I was afraid, but I still couldn't. It's not that. What were you gonna do after this? Are you gonna go back to the Suno house?
トールが今隠してることを教えてもらうまでは帰りません。
I will force the information out. What?
そうじゃなきゃなんで追いかけてきたのかわからないでしょ？
She's got a point. Go back. But I mean, I guess that's a weird thing to say.
じゃあはっきり言ってほしいな。トールは何をしようとしてたの？
She seemed to be genuinely worried about me. And one more thing.
私は役に立たないの？
Oh, don't pull out the useless card. It's not that. It's not that at all. What should I do? Was it okay to tell Alice? I was a bit hesitant, but I didn't even know why. How come? Alice was serious and sincere, so there should be no problems if I told her. I'm gonna end this stream for sure this time. Oh god, the music just stopped. Oh, music. Just then, Alice looked surprised, but also a little lonely. We can't go on like this. I've been saying that this whole time, but I'll probably end up doing something terrible to someone. And not just me, someone else might make a mistake too. It's just a dream. It's not real. If that's my excuse, then I don't know what I might do. In fact, even if it wasn't to this Alice, I had still almost assaulted her. Oh, we did. Not this Alice. Remember, of course. It didn't matter if we were dancing in the palm of someone's hand. There was also no guarantee that the owner of said hand wouldn't show up. So,
ちょっと待ってよ。ひどいことってそんなのトールはしないよね。
you never know when you're in that mindset. Can't say for sure. I shouldn't say this out loud, but I think I'm good at differentiating dreams and reality. But I'm afraid of when that might become vague again. I've already had seen several dreams where I pushed you down, and there were times when I have to hold myself back.
だけど我慢できてるんでしょ。私そんなこと一度もされてないから。
Because I always had that dream thing, person, brain to alleviate that. But this is a dream too. There's no guarantee that I never will. Alice was my type. No, I probably loved her. Damn. But me wanting to push her down had more to do with lust. I don't want to do that, Alice. So will you go back to Saki's? I'll be fine.
そばにいたら何かしちゃうかもってこと。
I felt pathetic, but I nodded.
だけど最近トール変な夢に捕まってるし、そばにいないと助けられないかもしれないのに。
It's better than attacking you. Huh?
わからずや。
Oh, God. Alice squeezed my hand hard. She looked like she was going to cry, but she was holding it in. Her face was bright red.
それでも手伝ってほしいって言ってほしかったのに。
Just then, I almost said that I did, but I swallowed my words. You can't. What? It wasn't that I wasn't happy with her by my side. If Alice said it was okay, then what was the problem? I thought that, but what if I made an even bigger mistake? I had to reject her here. Oh, could this be what the normal end means? Rather than accept her help, we just straight up reject her? Bruh. It felt strange even to me, but she couldn't be by my side, so I chose not to place her there. That's probably what it is, huh? When she raised her face, Alice looked like tears could fall at any moment. Maybe she didn't understand why I would say such a thing, why I was pushing her away. Even I didn't really understand. I'll do something about this. So...
もういい。わかった。
Oh, now I'm depressed. She let go of my hand. I felt a chill run through me as usual. I didn't like the feeling of a girl's hand letting go of me, so I often didn't even let Saki hold my hand. That was definitely something from my past.
トールのわからずや。それでもし。
What was that expression on Alice's face?
もししくじったら大丈夫。きちんと助けてあげるから。
I'll help you regardless. Even though she was looking down and on the verge of crying, Alice seemed to be smiling just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just look at that smile. No, that's fading away. It's gone now. Oh no. And I visited this room again today. Oh, it's... Dude, it really felt like it was just gonna be like, and normal end. Maybe that happens regardless. Dude, I'm just trying to figure out where it could deviate. The door's closed behind me. This room never changes, just like war. Extravagant, gaudy, luxurious. Such words fit this room perfectly. But the objects in it were rather girly, so they weren't quite to my taste. Dude, I'd like this table and these chairs. In other words, this was a room created by someone whose preferences differed from mine. There was a large table right in the center of the room. On it were steaming pots and and an expensive-looking tea set. All around were lots of colorful sweets and desserts that didn't deplete no matter how much you ate. The preparations for a tea party were complete. But no matter how perfectly prepared for a tea party it was, I was the only one here. No. No Alice today, huh? There was always someone here when I came to this room. Usually it was Alice, and she was often drinking tea and eating sweets by herself. But today, there was no one. I don't know if I like that. Normally, I'd be sitting in that sofa, which had become my designated spot. But for some reason, I didn't feel like it. I'm gonna sit on the floor. The dreams we'd had. At first, I thought Maya was the one who trapped us in this dream. I thought this was a mishmash of dreams that only came about because I still had lingering regrets regarding Maya. I feel like I'm on the verge of figuring something out. Me too! But even after Maya stopped appearing, the dream hadn't ended. We were still here and the town was still covered in strange plants. There was always the possibility that reality had changed when we were unaware, but no, there isn't. There was no way Santa's sleigh would fly or that Saki would become a princess. And that was because what? My senses sharpened. The music dimmed. My awareness came back to me. Next thing I knew, I created a key in my clenched fist. Oh, my palm was sweaty. Mom's spaghetti! I've been holding it in my hand so tightly that the edges dug red marks into my hand. This was a key created from my unconscious awareness of what was behind the stream. Oh no. If I used this, then I might be able to reach the root of the stream. This was my chance. I was on the verge of remembering, the verge of realizing, but I couldn't just do it. Do it! Damn it! Maybe if I knew the truth, it would become problematic for someone, so they were holding me back. But for me to know that, I'd have to use this key. It was a strange key, unlike any key I'd ever seen in my dreams. The edges were pointed and resembled the thorns of a rose. Oh boy. Feeling a sense of nostalgia, I walked over to the doors I always came in through. The keyhole under the knob was a large, traditional-looking keyhole. Large enough for just about any kind of key to fit into. Alright, so it's like comically large. I inserted the key I was holding and turned it. The key turned easily, eventually making a light click. It opened. I gripped the doorknob and slowly pushed the doors opened. Opened? Open. Pushed? I was pretty sure you were supposed to pull it. Maybe I had altered the dream to reflect my will to move forward. Anyway, it had opened and I could go. But just as I thought that, someone pushed me from behind. Oh. I guess I'm just gonna... Ah! I couldn't stop. My arms and legs flew through the air without anything to catch onto. I guess I'll die. It was blue sky as far as I could see. It was the scenery I had once seen out the window. I remembered wondering if I could fly. But humans didn't have wings, so I would only fall. Why? I saw the square frame of a door I fell out from floating in the air as I tumbled. The one who pushed me was...
ごめん。
Damn! Alice! Before I could make out her expression, she and the doorway disappeared into the distance. Look, maybe I needed this. I was falling fast. The door was now just a speck against the blue sky. Was I falling or flying? I'm pretty sure we're falling. I couldn't tell. I knew there was no way my hand could reach that door, so I just fell. This was only a dream anyway. My field of vision turned from blue to black, and I lost consciousness. I would too. Oh, so you're just gonna end it right there on me, game? Don't do that, bruh.
Hapymaher.
I ain't for that. I was getting into it right there. Fucking... You know what? You guys were right. We should have just done the true ending. Son of a bitch. You know what? I don't even care. We're gonna start it right now. So fuck you. I'll be back. When I get to the true end stuff.
ダメだよ。 僕はその夢を壊させない。
I remembered the blue sky. I suddenly heard a voice. Wee woo! It was someone I had heard before, but I couldn't remember whose voice it was. I couldn't sense Maya anymore. She was still here, but I couldn't see her.
忘れてくれるかな。きっとその方がお互い幸せだよ。
Please, no. Don't. I'll be the one who decides what makes me happy. You're damn right!
大丈夫。君にだって損はさせない。
God damn it.
何度でも何度も幸せな望む夢の中に身を任せてしまえばいい。
I just like to think of this as
その方がきっと
fucking like evil Alice.
幸せだから。だから。
I accidentally clicked, but it's fine. It kept going anyway. Good for me. I could barely see anything now. All I could hear was that voice. That kind of happiness isn't real. I don't want it. Yeah! That's what I thought, but my mouth wouldn't move and I blacked out. Oh, all that was left was a sensation of falling through darkness. Well, that happened. You know, I should have figured there would be, like, way more random shit that happens on our way back to whatever the fuck we're supposed to be doing in the decisions. But you know what? We're still going with it. And even though I'd fallen asleep, I suddenly found myself standing in this dark-ass room. Huh? There shouldn't have been anything unusual about me dreaming about this place, but for some reason it felt strange. I couldn't really put it into words, but it was almost like...
普段のこの部屋じゃないみたい?
Why is... yes? I thought I was alone, but I heard a voice. When I turned around, Club Prez was standing there. Even Saki had gotten involved in the stream, so there was nothing strange about Club Prez being here. No. I knew that Club Prez was going to get involved. And yet, why had I forgotten that until just a while ago?
どうしたのトール? そんな怖い顔して。
This is weird. Who are you?
やだトールってば。私のことを忘れるなんて。
Hey, I already know you aren't Club Prez. It's getting even worse. You've appeared as Club Prez and as Alice before. Just who are you? Whoever it was wearing Club Prez's form raised the corners of her mouth into a smile.
やっぱりまだ準備できてないここに来たってことは思い出してるんだ。
Oh my god. To an extent, but to be honest, I'm not sure which is the dream. At least I had remembered now. The dream I was having had already ended.
だけどやっぱり不思議なのよね。
Club Prez, or someone wearing her form, walked around the room, clicking her heels.
今までトールは何度だってこの夢を終わらせてきた。その中には私と恋人同士になる夢だってあった。
This is so... you know all those other things you've done? And? What's so strange about that?
どうしてあの状況で我慢したのかって。私が嫌いなわけじゃないでしょ？男の子として興味がないわけでもない。なのに、どうしてって。
I'm not the sort of person who would get caught up in this nonsense and then act without thinking. I raised a lightly clenched fist toward Club Prez. The moment she said, huh, I sharply snapped my fingers. Oh, with the sound of it, Club Prez's form melted into the air. But...
びっくりした。乱暴なんだから。
Without a sound, she reached around my shoulder. What? When I looked back, that was Hirasaka smiling with an expression that the real person would certainly never make.
こんばんは、先輩。私のことがわかりますか?
I'm going crazy. I tried to snap my fingers again, but she grabbed my hand.
そんなことをしても意味ないです。それで僕を消せるわけでもないからね。
As evident by when I tried to do it the first time. She pushed me away and took a few steps back. The grinning Hirasaka looked nothing like the real thing.
さてさて先輩、もう一度聞きます。私のことがわかりますか？
This is fucked up what you're trying to tell me here, game. Yeah, I remember you. I'm gonna dream about you after this, right?
ええ、そうです。最初に先輩が見た順番通りですね。
Bruh. What do you mean?
言ったままの意味です。一番最初はこの夢だって何も決まってなかったんですよ。
God. In the same order? We did Club Prez? And then we did did Kaiko? God damn it!
それを先輩とあの子が形にしたんです。こういう風にしよう。こういう夢を見ようって。だからこれは先輩の夢でもあるんですよ。
So you're saying it's my fault this is happening?
どうでしょう。難しいところですね。あくまで先輩は脚本に過ぎないわけですから。
Bruh. Taking advantage of the fact that she was a good distance from me, I snapped my fingers and blew away the one wearing Hirasaka's face. Ha! Like a wind blowing away a sand sculpture, Hirasaka's figure melted away as well. That's not
だから
yep.
意味がないんです。自分だって分かってるでしょ、兄さん。
This is all a bunch of weird ass bullshit and I love it. Sure enough, behind me in a place I couldn't see stood Saki, or rather someone wearing her form.
だいたいどうしてこんな簡単にここに来ちゃうのかしら。兄さんってばそんなにこの夢を終わらせたいの？
Yes, I do. There's no reason I'd want it to continue. That goes without saying, doesn't it?
だけどせいぜいできるのはここに来ることだけ。僕に何ができるわけでもないと。
Even though it was a dream, I hesitated to erase the nodding Saki, seeming to notice that she gave an unpleasant grin.
あら、どうしたの？さっきの二人みたいに消さないの？
No, I must! You.
別に意地悪をしたいわけじゃない。僕はね、トール。君にもできれば夢を楽しんでほしいんだ。
Then Saki smiled with a face I'd never seen before. Or, I mean, never. I'd have seen it before, teehee. What I saw for a moment was a room with a lot of white. It smelled like an infirmary. Uh-huh. And the wind was blowing against the curtains of the open window. I've met you somewhere before. So you telling me that the girl in the infirmary or in the hospital room is everyone or can change forms to be everyone? But if that's... You know what? I'm just gonna keep going. It suddenly came to me. I couldn't remember her face or how it happened, but I remembered. You came through the window. And then... Sagi's expression completely changed.
トール、君、まさか。
That was all I remembered. But I had to apologize to you. For what? I was unable to remember as the expression of the person in front of me froze. She looked like she was both acting tough and like she was afraid.
やっぱり、君はダメだ。どうして君たち兄弟はそうやってめちゃくちゃにしていくんだ。僕はただ楽しい夢を見ていたいだけなのに。
With that screaming voice, our surroundings changed. It wasn't like being with Maya, and that smell was different too. Okay, but I could tell that the dream was being rewritten.
忘れろ。忘れてしまえ。僕が楽しい夢を見ていられるように。
This is high levels of wee-woo.
君だって目を覚ませば辛い現実が待ってるだけなんだ。なのになんで夢を終わらせる気だ。
Because it's a dream! That's... Okay, bye.
生きているのは辛いって言ったくせに。諦めたくせに。
Mm-hmm. The dream collapsed into nothingness. I had heard that voice somewhere before. That's... Unable to say anything in reply, I fell into the pure white dream. The last thing I saw was the room of a hospital I had stayed in long ago. Everything is happening in the brain. The brain and the you know what? What are you gonna do? It's gonna be like baby. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna. I'll just be back. It's all coming together. The pieces, the Millhouse, the everything. It's all coming up, Millhouse. I'll be back. Do you remember last time with the New Year's and the me and Alice and the grabbing her boob and the making out and the bed and the drunk? Yeah, this is after that. And it's fucking different. Maybe. I don't know. It might be something crazy, it might not. But I think I made all the decisions I needed to actually be on the true ending thing. Anywho, despite my suffering, I managed to fall asleep without doing anything I'd regret and found myself in an all too familiar room. Ah, sweet! Perhaps this one was one of the few advantages of not being able to hold my liquor.
つまり、君には愛がないんだよ。
God damn it! What are you saying all of a sudden? Like always, I was sitting on the sofa. Opposite of me was Alice with her hands on her hips. Even though this was a dream, I still seemed to be a little drunk. I felt dizzy, and a sweet scent seemed to cling on the edge of my nose. And what do you mean I have no love? I reached for my tea and sipped at it. The flavor of the tea here really never changed.
じゃあ、どうしてさっき誰にも何もしなかったの?
'Cause her words were a little unexpected. Alice wrapped her arms around her own body and wriggled seductively.
本当に信じられないよ。一緒のベッドで寝て、あそこまでしてるのに手を出さないなんて。
Well, you know, these things, Who are you? Those words came to me instinctively as I set my tea aside. The atmosphere in the room felt a little strange. Did I know her?
何を言っているんだい? 僕はトールのよく知ってるアリスじゃないか。
I beg to differ. Alice doesn't talk like that.
あら、なんだそんなこと。よかった。君が全然思い出してないみたいで。
Oh God. Alice came up to me and put one hand on the back of my chair. She loomed over me. Our eyes met, or rather, I was forced to look her in the eyes.
じゃあ、きっと僕はトールの見ている夢なんじゃないかな。君の知ってる通りの僕なんだ。
Her voice was almost a whisper. She was close enough to me that I could feel her breath. We were almost touching, but I quickly moved away. Wait, what do you mean? Even as I said this, I felt like I remembered something. Come on, you son of a bitch! I had the feeling those words were more accurate than I thought.
君と会うのは初めてじゃないのに、覚えていてくれないだなんて。ひどいな、と言うべきかな。けどほっとするべきかな。
We remembered a little bit. Not our first meeting? Was that true? I did feel as though I knew her. But was that just because she looked like Alice? Nope.
もっとも、僕が自分で君の夢をいじっているんだから、何か言えた義理じゃないんだけど。
Toying with my dreams. Those words caused my heart to race, but all of a sudden I couldn't move. I wanted to immediately catch her, but I couldn't stand up from the sofa. Who are you?
見たままの姿だよ。君は知っているはずだ。
The Alice I know isn't like you.
なるほど。トールは本当に自分も人のことも分かってないみたいだね。
Alice twirled around like an actress on a stage and sat down next to me. She put her arm around my shoulders and brought her face close to mine. Space Marines, help!
僕のことはいいじゃない。今はトールに愛がないって話だよ。
I'd rather talk about the other thing. I mustn't forget her. I had to remember this person who looked like Alice. Come on, you son of a bitch brain! And yet I was quickly ceasing to care. God! Fuck me! What do you mean I have no love? Don't tell me it's because I didn't make a move on anyone when I was awake. Something in my mind told me she wasn't going to give me the answers that I wanted.
それだけじゃないよ。まあ、それもなんだけど。正直、これまで何度もやってるんだもの。そろそろ愛に気づいてもいいんじゃないのかな。
God, it's so weird knowing that every other route was just a dream. Many times, I didn't understand what she was saying, and we've just repeated the events over and over again. My head hurt. How long was I planning on saying I didn't understand?
いや、違うかな。気づいた君は、もう目を覚ましているのかな。
So you're saying you know?
少なくとも、トールよりは知ってるつもりだけど。
Oh yeah, you're like the ring, Her mischievous grin did look like the real Alice's. I have as much love as anyone else.
うん、そうだね。それは認めるよ。
Hey, you're the one who said I have no love.
ないというかね。その人並みにある愛が一箇所に集中しちゃってるんだもの。他にはちっとも向いてない。
Well, I'm not a womanizer. Of course I don't direct my love toward anyone else.
それは本気で言ってる？まさかあそこまでみんなにいろいろ手を出しておいて八方美人のつもりがないなんて。
You know all those routes you did? Hey, what's your problem? It's true that everyone around me is attractive, yes, and maybe I do roam a little with my eyes. But I only have eyes for one person.
そう。
Damn.
トールはいつも一人だけ。その子にしか愛が向かってない。だから、君には愛がない。
She poked my chest with my finger.
君の心の中にはずっと一人の女の子しかいない。だから他の女の子には愛で接することができない。そう、君はマイヤ以外に愛を向けられない。
Please no. I felt like I'd been stabbed in the chest with those words. What are you saying?
違う？トールが愛してたのはマイヤだけ。そのマイヤとはきちんとお別れができなくて、いつまでもいつまでも恋心を引きずり続けていたんでしょ。
Alice pressed her hand against my chest.
まだ恋心と家族愛も区別がつかないままに、めちゃくちゃな別れ方をした。サキちゃんの手助けもあって、君は夢の世界に行かなかったけれど、代わりに恋心への決着のつけ方もわからなくなっちゃった。
You don't know me. She pressed her hand against me as if she were trying to squeeze my heart. You're wrong. Damn, Alice had a surprised look on her face. I grabbed the hand that was on my chest. Maya isn't like that. I'm able to fall in love.
だけど、それは恋じゃない。愛じゃない。
How can you say that?
だってトール、女の子をちっとも愛せてないもの。
Again, you don't know me. After removing my hand from hers, she pulled her own back and confidently waved a finger with a tisk 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 motion.
トールは優しいし、まあ言ってみれば紳士的だし、それに女の子のこともきちんと好きで、男が好きなわけでもないから分かりにくいんだけど、自分でも気づいてるんでしょ？この気持ちは愛なんだろうかっていつも思ってるんでしょ？それがないから自信もない。
I mean, everyone's, you know, questions love, really. What?
トールが女の子を見ているのは愛以外の感情、友情とか同情とか義務とか責任とか、ついでに自己満足。
That's not...
あとはただエッチしたいっていう気分だけど、愛がないから自分で歯止めがかかっちゃって押し倒せない。ただエッチしたいってだけで大事に思ってる友達を押し倒していいわけがないから。違う？
You right. She wasn't wrong. But I couldn't admit that. Why? What's with you?
それは忘れていてほしいけれど、聞くくらいなら思い出してほしいな。言ったでしょ、会ったのは初めてじゃないって。
Are we about to have like a weird journey into the past? The person who looked like Alice giggled.
まあいっか。
Oh no, don't leave me. Even though it wasn't the least bit fine, she moved away from me.
あとは君自身と君を思う彼女たちに判断してもらおう。せめて嫉妬の果てに刺されたりしなければいいね。
That's a bit ominous. After saying that so ominously, see it even knew. Hey, wait! She jumped out of the window. For a moment, the sight of her jumping seemed familiar. Whoa, hold the hoozle there. Feeling dizzy again, I closed my eyes. Hold the hoozle here. Okay, so this is right after the whole little talky bit with Alice at the very start of this video. Because we're in the room again, but it's different this time. So we're right back at where we were, but we're on the true route. Come on, let's do this. I visited the room again today. The door's closed behind me. Hello, this room never changes. Do I make the same joke just like war? All right. Extravagant, gaudy, luxurious. Such words fit this room perfectly. I remember reading this. But the objects in it were rather girly, so they weren't quite to my taste. And then this is when I said, I don't know. I would like to have these chairs. In other words, this was a room created by someone whose preferences are different from mine. There was a large table right in the center of the room. On it were steamy pots, an expensive-looking tea set, blah, 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 blah. All around were sweets and shit, and the preparations for the tea party were complete. But no matter how perfectly prepared for a tea party it was, I was the only one here. Alice isn't here, huh? No. Yes, there was always someone here when I came to this room. Usually it was Alice, and she was often drinking tea and eating by herself. But you know, there's nobody here. Whew! Is it gonna do this? When I put my hand on the table, I felt strange. Uh-oh. I looked at the hand I'd put on the table. It was just my hand, looking no different from usual. It wasn't huge, but it was bigger than a girl's hand. In other words, it was a normal guy's hand. So why did the fact that I had such hands here seem slightly strange? What the shit? What could this mean? Blizzard? Blizzard, help! I sat down in the sofa I always sat in, although I didn't know why that was. It was as comfortable as always, softly embracing my body without it so much as creaking. I reached out to prepare tea for myself and pondered for a moment. The dreams we'd had? At first, I thought it was Maya who had been trapping us into these dreams. That maybe my regrets had caused my nightmares to overflow from me and infect the others for some reason. I didn't have a clue as to why we had started having the same dreams, but I figured that was how it worked. But even after Maya stopped appearing, those strange dreams continued. Maya hadn't appeared since the dream of that dark forest at night. I had thought the dreams would end there, but when we woke up, we were still in the dream, and the town was covered in strangely colored plants. That's right, we were still in a dream. But despite that, when we fell asleep, we came to this room. Was this room a dream within a dream, or was the town actually covered in weird plants that no one could see? No, there's no way that could be reality. It was impossible. We could never ride in Santa's sleigh in reality, nor could Saki suddenly become a princess. In that case, why haven't we woken up after all this time? I wondered. I had dreams almost every night and remembered most of them, but I'd never had a dream for this long. And I'd always woken up at some point. Maybe it was precisely because I had tried to shake free of Maya that I couldn't wake up now. The thought had crossed my mind, but that wouldn't make sense. It should have been the opposite. I had shaken Maya off so I could wake up. If I didn't wake up, that would mean I had accepted this dream as reality, and yet I still couldn't wake up. In that case, was I wrong from the beginning? I murmured. I figured that someone was probably listening. Even now, we were probably being watched by that someone, and they were probably watching me intently. And we had been basing everything on a mistaken premise. If I assumed that, then a different answer could come to mind. Of course, that only held water if the truth was that this dream wasn't mine. Maya and I would be nothing more than elements in a much larger dream, and that hadn't ended, so those of us inside the dream were unable to wake up. This dream probably belonged to that someone who had been watching the dream, watching us. They had probably been watching us the whole time as though we were on a TV, and I had an idea who the someone watching this dream might be. No, I knew. I had seen them several times, but each time I would forget them, as though they were a dream. I was either being made to forget, or was simply unable to remember. Possibly both. Hey, I spoke to the person who was watching the stream I was in. I finished my tea and stood up. I didn't think they would appear just from me talking to them. I felt eyes on me and someone's presence. A presence that had been there ever since I'd had that dream of walking with Maya in the forest for the first time in years. At first, I thought it was Maya who had been watching my dreams. But that was wrong. Maya was gone now. But I could still feel the same presence from back then. Jesus Christ. And I knew who it was now. Good job making sure things progressed as you liked until now. If I started to notice something, they would make it into a dream. If I found something out, they'd make it into a dream. And maybe sometimes they would even alter my dreams. And they'd caused me, no, all of us, to forget. I pulled a key out of my pocket. It was how Alice moved around dreams freely. Imitating her, I had made a key. It was a hard, generic-looking stainless key that I wasn't familiar with. Okay, so it's a different key this time. But I had seen the shape of that key somewhere before. Not in the memories I'd been made to forget, but from when I was younger. Where have I seen it? Was it a key that had appeared from my belief that I might have seen it before? Or did I know the circumstances behind this key? Well, either way, as long as it works. I was going to the place where the one who was watching us in the dream was. Just like how Alice had appeared in Saki's and Club Prez's dreams, I should be able to reach the dreamer. And if they woke up like we had, then maybe this crazy dream would end. There would be no more peeping on others' desires, friends being made into princesses, the town being covered in weird plants or strange things happening to me. We're getting to the bottom of it! And if we woke up, then reality would return. In that case, all I had to do was what I had done up until now. It was the same thing I'd done in the dreams that Maya had prepared. Oh, I stood in front of the doors I always used to enter here. There was a keyhole under the doorknob. It was an easily recognizable keyhole shape, almost as though it was asking for any key to be stuck in. I inserted the key I was holding and turned it. It turned easily, making a soft clunk as it stopped. And with that, the doors opened. If I went through these doors, then I would reach the place I wanted to go, or at least somewhere related to it. Well then, guess I'll go end this dream. Murmuring as casually as I could, I turned around and grabbed the hand of the person standing there. Aha! This time! This time is not getting me pushed down. Alice gave me a surprised look. Because this has happened far too many times already. Because the key was in and the knob was turned, the doors opened on their own. No one pushed for them open. They were blown open by the wind coming from the other side. And on the other side, there was a blue sky as far as the eye could see. Whenever I tried to do this, you always interfered. This didn't happen just once. I had tried to end this dream many times before now. I had felt a presence watching us this whole time. I always forgot and always went through these doors alone. I was made to go through, but not this time. Yeah! Alice looked angry. She looks more like, sad. She looked like she was about to cry as she tried to push me in silence. It would be one thing if she had caught me off guard from behind like before. But there was no way her thin arms would be able to push me if I knew she was going to be there from the beginning. Why, Alice? Why have you done this? Alice didn't answer. I've done this many times, and probably not just me, but everyone else too. I didn't intend to flatter myself by thinking only I had realized this. This had to have happened over and over for me to finally get here. In the meantime, I couldn't imagine that at least Club Press hadn't realized earlier. Oh, I imagined. Alice was looking down. With the wind blowing from behind me, I could barely see her through my flying hair. Because what?
私だってこんなことしたくなかった。だけど
Mm-hmm. Alice pushed harder. Hey!
私がしたいわけじゃない。なのに仕方ないじゃない。私はそういう夢なんだから。
That sort of dream? Alice was crying. She hadn't been keeping quiet because she felt awkward. She was desperately resisting so that she could push me away, not push me off. It was like Alice's body was possessed and she was fighting it. Oh, but I was still being pushed. Alice was pushing harder and harder, unable to withstand it. My body leaned towards the doors. Oh, Jesus!
やだ。どうしよう。こうしなきゃいけないって思うのに。けど、おかしいのもわかるの。トール、どうしよう。私、このままじゃ、また、トールのこと、またここから突き落としちゃう。
Fight it, Alice! I wanted to say it was okay, but Alice was gradually pushing harder. Oh, Jesus! At this rate, I would really be pushed off. I tried to alter the dream, but it seemed that the other presence was stronger than me. My body was being pushed one-sidedly. Alice! As I tried to resist. Grab on tight! I'm coming here and bringing you with me! She raised her face in confusion. I grabbed Alice's arm and jumped through the doors. Woo! Since there was no ground to stand on, we just fell. This doorway's connected to the one watching the stream, right? With the wind roaring past us, I yelled to Alice. So, it's not just you. There's someone watching us, the person that makes you push me off. Even when I'd been alone with Alice, I had always felt those eyes and that presence. They definitely weren't Alice's. I'm going to them right now. I won't forget, and I won't repeat things again. You're damn right. I had fallen from here alone before, but never with Alice. To go deep into the dream, it helps to have someone related to that person. Or so you said before, right? So, I was sure that unknown presence had a strong connection with Alice. Oh, I'm sure. Lead me to the foundation of the dream, Alice. Although even if you say no, I'll force you to go with me. Alice said nothing, but she squeezed my hand. She looked sad, but her eyes were filled with determination. I nodded back and snapped the fingers on my free hand. The world spun. Whoop! Whoop! Damn! Oh, we're getting into it, dude! Everything's coming up, Millhouse! We're cracking the code. Dude, but if I keep going, it'll be like a 17-hour video, so I feel like that's a good cliffhanger-y spot. Damn, you already know I love my cliffhangers, but I don't really want a cliffhanger, but I it's like when two halves of my body are just conflicting. They're just like, you must cliffhanger. No, you must keep going. You're just like, no, stop.